Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the TED Show. Excited to have these three gentlemen, entrepreneurs, givers, they're advocates, and they have created something new called the Osceola Collective that we're going to learn about. But each one of them in their own right is an amazing human being, and they all do great things for our community. So it's an honor to have John Kalish, Daniel Driskell, and Clint Wise on the show. Welcome, gentlemen. How are you today?
Thank you. Well, doing great. Thank you, Ted.
Awesome. All right. So before we went live, I said the audience always likes to know a little bit about you, but I think they all might know you from my posts or past shows, and certainly any kind of social media, but that doesn't mean they remember like me. So let's start, and we're going to give a little bio, and I'm going to start with Daniel because that's how I'm seeing the show. So Daniel, tell us a little bit about you.
Sounds good. So Florida native from Pensacola, Florida. Joined the Marine Corps at the ripe age of 19. I did 21 years. 21. I retired in 2021. See, my brain did 25 years.
Wow.
And retired in 2021. I've been doing real estate investing since 2003. And after I retired, I got back into it. I'm also part of, if you've ever heard of Grant Cardone Veterans Group, which was recently started just a few years ago. And that's been doing good things. So with that, I'm with eXp Realty and do both the commercial side and residential, as you guys know. And I'm just loving it. I'm loving retirement. I'm loving just living in Central Florida, helping veterans, and first-time home buyers, and basically all real estate needs, and just the networking with people like yourself, and meeting Clint through networking and church, and I just love the community that we have here. Even though Central Florida is just such a crazy area, sometimes it can just have that small feel when you network with the right people.
Amen to that. Thank you. And thank you for your service.
Thanks.
I mean that. John, you're the next one. Tell us a little bit about you, John Kalish.
So Ted, always loved being on the show, been on several times, and Ted's an amazing human being and very humble, and he won't tell you that he himself is an amazing human being, but he is. And then, of course, Clint and Daniel, just community advocates, just gentlemen doing great things in our community. I'm just blessed to know both of them. I enlisted in the Army at the ripe age of 18, right out of high school, graduated in June. In August, I was in the Army. So I got out of Dodge. I grew up in New York, and not the best of neighborhoods. And just started getting involved in the community, getting involved with our veterans, getting involved with the children, the schools. It's just been an amazing time. Pushing for small businesses. We moved to St. Cloud 14 years ago now. And it was, when you say it was nothing, it was truly like a little bedroom community with about 20,000 people. Downtown was all shuttered. There were just a couple of businesses down there, and look where we are now. So it's been a great ride and enjoying it so far. And again, appreciate the opportunity to join you, Ted and Daniel and Clint.
Well, thank you. And thank you for your service. I appreciate you coming back on the show, of course. And last but not least, and thank you for your kind words, John. I'll pay you later. Last but not least, Clint Wise. Tell us about you, Clint.
Yeah, so like these other two guys, I did not serve in the military, and I'm going to try to move to a little bit better place here because I'm still feel like I'm buffering. But I did serve the community through law enforcement. Was a police officer and a SWAT operator with St. Cloud Police Department for about 9 years. My history is way too long to get into that. You would need like 4 shows for everything I've been into since, out of high school. So I'll fast forward to today. Currently, my family owns 4 companies, a luxury dog boarding business. We've got, I still do some real estate, just strictly referral based now. I closed down a lot of marketing and stuff just because I had to have other, more time for a couple of other businesses. I've recently started with my son and a good friend of ours named Dave Gosper. We've started Wise Choice Designs, which is an interior and exterior design build company. And then also we have Wise Choice GFC, which stands for grading, forestry, and clearing. And we can do full on-site development. I've known Daniel for probably about 4 years, 5 years now. Him and I did a real estate deal originally. That's how I met Daniel. And ever since then, just kind of hit it off. We've traded a lot of referrals back and forth. Daniel has given me, a lot of leads from his network for the, home improvement side of things. And then John, my gosh, I've lost count of how long I've known John now. It's getting to be a while, but probably back in like 2017 timeframe when I got into real estate, I wanted to serve the community. I wanted to find an outlet that I could do that, and so I found a Hero for Kids. And I don't have to say a whole lot on here about Hero for Kids. I mean that could take up a whole nother 3 shows. Could not be partnered with a better group of folks to serve the community and everything they do all year long, from their Christmas giveaway stuff to hundreds of kids, giving away hundreds of backpacks full of school supplies every year. Just astronomical amount of things they do for how small that group is, right?
Yeah.
And they're just kind-hearted folks, constantly just giving back to the community. And Daniel does as well. He does a lot with veterans, being linked into several different veteran outreach groups and stuff like that. And so, if you want me to segue into the Osceola Collective.
Oh my God, perfect segue. Yes. How did that all transpire
Yeah.
into the Osceola
Yep.
Collective?
So the 3 of us, along with Glenn and BJ Harris, those 5 make up the steering committee for the group. And we're looking forward to having you be a part of it, Ted.
I'm excited and honored.
So, yep. And so what we wanted to do, and like a lot of networking groups in this area, I've been in Osceola County since 1999, been here a long time, owned a lot of different businesses. And when I think of networking group, and I really can't stand that word, by the way, personally. When I think of that, I think of people standing in a circle, kind of giving their 30-second elevator pitch of what they do, and they spew it out, and then everybody leaves. And it's like nobody's walking away with any.
Correct. Nobody's walking away with any Daniel John.
We're here.
A lot of times, I think you're
Oh,
losing me.
There we go.
In those groups, you find a lot of times that those groups just don't have any staying power. Like they'll come out of the woodwork, they'll get a good response initially, and then 6 months into it, you're down to 4 or 5 people, and just there's no longevity, right? Because people aren't getting a lot of value out of it. So we wanted to go and swing that pendulum to the other extreme, and we wanted to do a nice sit down in the evening networking group, have guest speakers come in and do 15 to 20 second or 20 minute talks on their area of expertise. Things like, social media experts that can come and give people real tips on how to grow their social media, tax professionals to talk about, how people can save money on their taxes and stuff like that. We've got a couple business coaches that are a part of the group, and they're going to come in and give some good coaching advice, and then pass out literature and things that people can take back to their business and actually use in their business, right? And in addition to that, we want to roll in some of the community service aspect of things, and use this group as a way to maybe branch off and do some other sidebar groups to say, look, we want to put together a group of 10 volunteers that can go out and join this nonprofit over here, and we'll supply a group of volunteers to go out and help you get this project done on a Saturday, right? So there's going to be a lot of different things that are going to happen. What we're not looking for is the business owners that say, what can I get out of this? And in fact, anybody that's approached me so far and said, what am I going to get? What kind of leads am I going to get from this group and stuff? I'm like, it's probably the best group for you, right? Because this group, we want folks that are going to come in there and they're going to be thinking about, how can I help other businesses, be successful? And then as a byproduct of helping other businesses, grow. And as a byproduct of helping, other community oriented organizations and stuff, you're going to get more business from that. And that's the mindset we want people to be in.
I love it. Tell me about, you've talked about how you're going to set it apart differently from all other ones. And I think we've all experienced the nauseating, insane networking events where it's somebody throwing business cards at you and, oh my God, it's awful and horrendous. And I try to teach on that a lot. I actually have a whole class about networking and networking and how to do it right. So people are burnt out. So the way that you're describing it is, it's much more, and collective. I love that word. I love that whole thought process. So a couple of questions we've had, people that I have let know that we were going to do the show today. They want to know if it's only open if you do business in Osceola. They want to know if it's open to people who are not necessarily a business owner. If they're just maybe they work as a CFO or a marketing person. And they also want to know more in depth about how often things are going to happen. And so I think nitty gritty, without getting too nitty gritty, is important so that we leave people wanting more and that they can reach out to the three of you. But if you can give a couple of insights into that part, I think it would be super important.
Yeah. So answer the first question. No, it is not just for business owners. And it can be people who are in, professionals, in the business arena. And if they want to come and represent their company, that's perfectly fine. To answer your second question, no, it does not have to be a business that has a St. Cloud or Osceola address as their business, right? Because people such as yourself, and I have another lender, right, that he might live in Claremont and does a lot of,
No, you're fine. We love puppies, so you're good.
He may live in Claremont and does a lot of business, in Orlando and stuff like that. But he also does a lot in Osceola County and is wanting to grow his business in Osceola County, right? And so people that are more mobile like that, like realtors, lenders, insurance people that do a lot of online activity and work, those folks, we're perfectly fine, right? Them going on the website, filling out that submission form under the membership tab. We're taking a look at everybody. Everybody's getting, kind of quasi vetted out, right? Because we want to make sure that when we stamp the collective name on their business and we're tagging them in our posts and we're helping them get their name out and stuff, that it's not someone who, has 1-star reviews and they're, been accused of fraud or, stealing people's money. And I mean, we want to be careful with that. And so everybody's going to get vetted out. They absolutely do not have to own a business that has a St. Cloud or Osceola County address. And they can just be a sales agent for someone and join and want to come and network. Oh, I hate that word. They can come and
we got to come up with a different word because I agree.
Get in with our business to business sharing group, right? Get involved in the community, do some community oriented, activities and stuff like that, and serve people. So.
What's the when you all? I'm not sure who formed what. Like if you reached out to Daniel first or John, or you all had the idea. But as you were discussing it and trying to develop it, what was that process like? Was it like, okay, this is what networking is, we want the opposite, or this is what BNI is, we want the opposite? How did that all come into play, and how did you set it up differently to what it is now?
Good.
I first got with John, and John and I kind of brainstormed, what we wanted to do. And I actually used, the phrase, I want this to be a very professional type setting, kind of like BNI, but I don't want I want to be careful because, BNI is in its own wheelhouse, right? A lot of people love BNI.
Great.
It's not for me. I wasn't okay with the level of accountability that they had. It was almost seemed like a second job to me that, I had to make so many calls every week and, people, the accountability just seemed to be over the top, right? I'm not going to tell people what they can and can't do with their business, right? That's up to you on how successful you want to be. And we're not putting any kind of thresholds in line for any weekly or daily activities, right? But I wanted more than just people coming and getting together for 30 minutes and kind of giving their pitch and then leaving. And so that's why we kind of came up with this hybrid of doing this. And it's once a month. It's for a 2-hour period, one evening a month. It's going to be at the St. Cloud VFW. So it will be sit down. They're going to have, a full menu for us to eat from, and we're encouraging people to purchase from the VFW's restaurant to help, support them. One of our categories is veteran outreach, and so the VFW has chosen to partner with us on, giving us a bit of a reduced rate on the, the meeting hall and stuff like that, and we're letting them send a representative to the meeting to be able to participate in it and stuff like that. So yeah, there's a lot of good things happening with it, but that's kind of how it came about. Is that John and I got together and kind of formed this up, and then John was the one that kind of had the brainchild of the Osceola Collective.
John, where'd that brainchild come from? All of our years of networking and
all of our years. Yeah, Ted. It was, hi, my name is John. I do this. And then, if you've got 50 people in a network group, that's the 50 people you hear every week. The same thing, the same 30 seconds. This is what I do. This is my ask. And you hear that, and then you walk away from that, and it's like empty, and you may have 15 realtors and 6, whatever, 6. It was just, and we wanted to do something that was unique. We wanted to do something that would bring value to people. So you're getting the interaction with other folks. You're getting 2 people per industry. So it's exclusive. And hopefully that brings people together, working together in the same industry and cross industries, and sharing, when I can't do it, maybe this other person can do it, or this isn't my specialty, but I know somebody who that is their specialty in the same industry. So that was the plan. And then bringing speakers in and providing, like I say, value for your time, because, the old adage, time is money. And we spend a lot of time networking with, going to network meetings or BNI or things like that, where you're not really, like a lot of the groups they're all about leads. Well, how many leads did you give? How many, and that's not the total value in a group like the Collective, where it's a group of like-minded, community-oriented folks and business owners and leaders who are together and want to see the community grow.
Agreed. I feel like a lot of people are getting away from those organized networking meetings, mainly because most people do not like that word, and most of it's not productive for many reasons, not just the event planners, but also the follow-up and the fact that a lot of the connections are just a business card. It's not a real connection with someone. You all have, what I'm hearing is you all have planned it out so that there is meaning at each meeting, and therefore that meaning can lead to meaningful relationships, which we all know is the name of the game, is building an actual relationship with people other than just a business card, or hey, I'll see you at the next one and see you at the bar, and we won't talk to anybody else and we won't have anything else to do. Networking meetings make my head hurt. So kudos to you guys. Daniel, what do you want to see? What's your vision for the group? Because Clint and John obviously had vision. Tell me yours.
So I've talked to both of them, and more of the good idea. We'll say the good idea fairy side of things, but not just that. Understanding, like Clint was looking for that perfect word, other than networking. Well, it's connections, connecting with the community. People always, he also mentioned about the what's in it for me. Well, what's in it for others? What's in it for others is what this is all about. Bringing in VSOs, for example, if veterans are out there that they have some questions, we want to be more of a question and answer type thing to help others out. If somebody a concerned citizen is asking, hey, what in the world is going on Cyril's Road? Like, so you're talking about some of that stuff because we know what's going on in our community.
Yes.
And yes, there's other outlets out there, but we want to be that outlet that answers those questions for people and helps others out, because eventually that's helping their business out as well.
Amen.
If they know what's going on around them, just like in real estate, your the neighborhood to the right of you, to the left of you, what's going on. What's South St. Cloud? What's going on in South St. Cloud? What's going on in North St. Cloud? Because sometimes the North St. Cloud people, they don't talk to the South St. Cloud people, and East and West. And you bring up things like what's Hollapall? Is Hollapall really part of St. Cloud? Kenansville. What is Kenansville? And talking about these things and the growth that is going on. Clint and I had mentioned when we did a video about, what was that, about two weeks ago?
About 2 weeks ago.
I had saw on the news how St. Cloud was one of the top 15 areas, not just in Florida, but in the United States as far as growth goes.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the business side of things, Clint and I were like, we got to get this up and running, because businesses are going to be asking, who are we? And just like Clint said earlier, the businesses we're looking for are those businesses that are about helping others and bringing growth and goodness to the community. And in turn, that brings goodness to their business.
Right.
Excellent. So if I say this, you all correct me if I'm wrong, which I'm totally okay with, by the way. If you're one of those people who starts off a conversation at a networking event with, here's all the things, what can you do for me? Then you're probably not going to want to be part of the collective, nor will the collective want you to be part of it. I love the mindset. I love the way that you all are approaching this, because it is different. Most of the time, things are, when it comes to a networking group or any group that we all belong to, it's what can they do for us? And I love that you're leading with, what can we do for them? What can we do for our community? What can we do for XYZ? Because to me, that's where all the blessings come. So I'll throw that in there. I really honestly believe that is a unique approach. And that's one of the reasons why I'm super excited about this, other than the three of you are spearheading everything. I just am so excited because it's different. We're tired of the same old stuff. We don't want the same old networking. I don't want to go. I do want to have a drink, don't get me wrong, but I don't want to go and have business cards thrown at me and you tell me all the things. And I really want to get to know people and build relationships and build rapport and trust and figure out how I can help them. And we're all believers in the seeds you plant. You certainly reap that in some way, shape, or form. So kudos to you guys. All right. So if people are listening out there and they want to get involved, they want to learn more, what's the best way for them to reach out to the Osceola Collective?
Yeah, so it's going to be, they can go to our Facebook page, the Osceola Collective, and on there in the About section, they can find the website link. They go to the website, and up at the top, there's going to be a membership tab for them to click on. There's contact blocks that need to be filled out. Once they submit that will send an email to our steering committee. Our steering committee will review all their information and get back with them, let them know, whether or not they've been accepted. If they get accepted, they'll receive a welcome letter that will have some other details. And really the only two rules, for lack of a better word, that we're going to have is you have to be an upstanding business owner or business professional in the community. If we get wind that anything is kind of squirrely, we're going to ask you to leave, because we just don't want to have any of that be a part of this. The second one is we're just asking people to at least send a proxy if they can't make it. And if nobody is there to represent you, or you're not there yourself more than one time in a 6-month period, then we're going to go to the next person on the list, because we want people that are going to be committed to it. Other than that, We're charging $150 for the entire year, and that goes to help with the rental space and the cleaning fee for this, which is very, very reasonable for something like this. So, and if any money's left over, I'm sure that the steering committee will find a way to donate it or go jump in with another nonprofit or something like that and help serve the community with that. So
Fantastic. You all, what a blessing. I mean it. Each of you gives back so much to the community, your communities, but the community as a whole. So if you're as excited about this as I am, absolutely check out the Osceola Collective.com. But of course, you can reach out to John, Daniel, and Clint or myself, and I can get them to you if you want more information. This is going to be life-changing, I feel. I just feel like it's got such a good, it's a good time to do it. People are looking for more meaningful connections. They're looking to work within their community and try to give back. And they're looking to do better and do more. And a lot of times they don't have the resources or the knowledge to know where to go. So the Osceola Collective, I'm super excited about that. God bless all three of you. Thank you so much for being here and all you do in the community. Daniel Driskell, John Kalish, and Clint Wise. Y'all check out the OsceolaCollective.com. I'm excited. I'm part of it, so I'm very excited. I thank all of you.
God bless you, Ted. God bless you, man.
God bless you all. We'll see you soon. Get involved, you guys. The OsceolaCollective.com. See you later. Bye-bye.